my second month, things were still going well, but then it came in my third month, whereby I had sponsored so many students, and all my students happened to actually go into doing exams. And when they went into doing exams, of course, I actually did not have a business. And I remember actually what happened is that one of the students told me that just as we've been studying, we've been doing business, I'm sure that we also need to take some good grades at home. And of course, there's nothing that much I would do. I had to let go, and then I concentrated on building a new team. I remember at that point is when Charlie Bolton had actually visited Uganda. And him visiting, I attended, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 people, 4 of my distributors. The rest never attended. So I attended with my 4 distributors, and I'm telling you that meeting, that weekend function with Charlie Bolton, that is when my whole entire business turned around. I remember there's a distributor that I attended with who actually is the origin of the whole of the Mbara business. And that Mbara business, it all started with at the weekend function that we attended with Charlie Bolton. So when we have chances to host this kind of people who have been in the business for over 40 years, 30 years, it is a very, very good opportunity for us to be able to maximize and be able to build a great and exciting business. So I would gladly tell you that one of the worst mistakes you can actually do this weekend, is to actually miss the weekend function. It would be a very, very huge disfavor that you will actually do for you to miss this weekend, this meeting with Mike. It would be a very, very big mistake. If you really have love and passion for this business, if you're looking at becoming a director, you're looking at becoming a world team member, you're looking at becoming a Ruby director, presence team member with time, then weekends like this, when we have people like Charlie Bolton, those are weekends you don't miss. Weekends like this, when we have Mike Van Venter, those are weekends you do not miss. Things like the East African Convention. In October, we have the East African Convention. I put across the budget that we shall be meeting, which is about 2 million shillings, inclusive going to Zanzibar, because we want to turn the East African Convention, not just go and attend a convention and come back. We want to turn it into a lifestyle thing. We don't want to first wait to become world team members so that we can be able to start traveling. No. Even as distributor, we want you to enjoy this business, to be able to travel. Because I understand some of us have actually joined this business because we want to travel. So the budget for the East African Convention is 2 million shillings. However, if you become a director, from now to August, as a team, we shall be paying for you the air ticket. And then if you go ahead and become from distributor, you go to director and you become an emerald director, all the 2 million shillings will be paid for you. The air ticket, together with accommodation, lifestyle, and everything will be fully covered. If you come from distributor all the way to what? All the way to emerald director. And if you're a director, first time, if you become an emerald director, we shall also be paying for you an air ticket to go to where? To be able to go to Dar es Salaam, and then the cost to Mombasa, that one you'll be able to meet by yourself. But you want to go and spend a night in Zanzibar. I saw the team, the Tanzanian team that was at Zanzibar. Today I posted the pictures in the group. I was so inspired. I was so motivated. I just actually cannot wait to be in Zanzibar. Now back to the weekend function. So what I was saying is that our weekend functions like this are functions whereby we are able to build and have great businesses. We are starting off tomorrow with a director meeting at Sheraton from exactly 10. Exactly 10. From 10 to from 10 to 1, we will be having from 10 to 1, we shall be having a director meetings with Mike Van Venter. Then later on, we shall be having a director dinner as well, again with Mike Van Venter. And then on Friday, now, if you are a distributor and you're in Kampala, on Friday, exactly 1 p.m., that is your time to come and associate with Mike Van Venter. That is your time for you to come and be able to experience and learn. Mike Van Venter is actually going to be doing a business presentation by himself. Imagine you've been talking to these guests as maybe you're 1-2 years old in the business, but now imagine someone who is 40 years with experience is going to be presenting to your guests. Don't you think we need to invite the whole of Kampala? Please, if you know some people, let us invite massively. Let's invite massively. Like I told you, the number one mistake you can do is to miss this weekend function with Mike, to miss that time with Mike. The number two mistake you can do, it is to come on Friday without any guest. Now, on a big meeting like this, it is an opportunity for us to invite all the distributors who have been discouraged, who have been demotivated. There are even those distributors that have taken harbor rest and relax. They are kind of like a little bit sluggish in the business. They are on and off, or maybe they are not even around. They have taken a break. Now is the time for you to be able to invite them, to bring them around. Tell them, look, come and experience, come and learn, come and experience, listen to this gentleman who has been in this business for over 40 years. Come and learn and experience what New Life can be able to do for us. So the number one thing we've talked about this weekend that you need to maximize, number one is attending in person and keeping time. And then number two is to be able to make sure that you attend with all your distributors. Even those that have relaxed, this is an opportunity to come and supercharge them and jumpstart them. Those that have relaxed, invite them. Those that are super motivated, invite them. Then the other third category of people that you must make sure attend this weekend function is to make sure that we invite massively. Invite massively. Now, when you are inviting for a weekend function like this, the number one category of people to consider, these are people that we have been speaking to about the business. People that we spoke to about the business and they said they were interested, but they are looking for money. People that have deposited. You know, they came in around, they love the business, and they even made a commitment, filled the form, and paid some deposit. Invite all of them. Don't only send them messages, don't only send them WhatsApp messages, but contact them. Call them. Call them to come. Call them, tell them, look, come and have a look at the bigger picture of this business. Come and see what New Life can do for you. Come and meet a gentleman who has been in this business for over 40 years. You know, then we've talked about attending personally so that you can be supercharged, so that you can be super motivated. You know, I've just remembered this story. I love Mike Van Venter's story. I hope and trust he shares it. You know, Mike Van Venter tells us that when he joined the business, for one year, 2 years, 3 years. How many? 3 years, not 3 months, but 3 years. He was in the business. He was doing the business. He was attending the meetings, but he had never sold a product. He had never become a manager. He had never gotten a check for 3 years. 3 years. Sometimes I see people who have been around for 1, 2, 3 months, and they're so discouraged and they're saying that, you know what, this business doesn't work. Man, this business needs a lot of patience. It needs a lot of patience, a lot of perseverance, a lot of consistency, a lot of hard work. Mike was in the business for 3 years, not seeing results. In fact, I love the response he always gives us when we ask him, so what were you doing in those 3 years? He says, I was actually trying to understand the business for 3 years. But guess what happened? After those 3 years he was in the business, he spoke to a friend of his who was also a pastor. By the way, Mike is a pastor, and up to now he's still pastoring. Do they call it pastoring? He is still spreading the gospel. Now, after those 3 years, Mike Van Venter speaks to another friend of his who is also a pastor called Hansi Cronier. I believe some of us have listened to Hansi Cronier's story. So when Hansi Cronier joins the business, he was broke. He was completely tired of where he was. So Hansi Cronier comes in the business, and he says in about 2 to 3 years, he became a presidency member. Can you imagine? Mike had to wait for 1 to 3 years to get someone who joined the business after the 3 years of long drought, and then this person becomes a presidency member in how many years? In 2 years. And then Mike Van Venter, by the time he was turning 7 years old in the business, Mike Van Venter had actually become a presidency member. Mike Van Venter, by the way, he's actually the upline of the whole East African team, the whole Kenyan team, the whole Ugandan team. All of them are under Mike. Can you imagine? Mike Van Venter has been earning an average of 20,000 US dollars. That is over 70 million shillings every single month for the last 33 years. 33 years. So when I look at people who have been around for 1, 2, 3 months, and they are so discouraged, they are so demotivated, they are moving around like chicken that has been hit by rain. They are saying, just as this business doesn't work, just as these things, just as this, I invited people, they didn't come, I did this, things are not working, I am not seeing customers. After 1 to 3 weeks, 1 month, Mike Van Venter was not seeing customers for 3 years. Now, the question would be, was it worth it for Mike to wait for those 3 years? Was it worth it? Of course it was. So what if Mike gave up after 1 year and said, this business does not work, let me try something else? What if he quit after 2 years? What if he quit when his 3rd year had just started? Would he be having this kind of amazing achievements? Of course not. So let's be patient. He also mentions about his upline. His upline, after sponsoring Mike, he thought Mike was going to work for him. He thought Mike was going to help him to grow fast and make money. But because Mike was too slow, Mike's upline, who was a manager, said, I think this business does not work. And Mike's upline quit. Now, you would want to imagine for the last 37 years, how much money has Mike Van Venter's sponsor missed? How much? A lot of money. A lot of money. So if there's anything that you should do, if there's anything that you can never do in this business, it is quitting the business. Never quit this business. Never quit. You can go through all the challenges, through everything, but never quit the business. Now, where do we get all these stories? Where do we get all these inspirations? Where do we get all this excitement? It is by attending such kind of weekend functions, to listen to such kind of testimonies. When we listen to such kind of testimonies, we get so motivated, we get so encouraged, and we say, you know what? If Mike can do it, so can I. If Mike can make it, I can also make it. So Friday, if you're in Kampala, attend in person. Attend with all your distributors. Attend with even those distributors that have quit. Call them and tell them there is a quitting party. Please first come and enjoy this party. After you have attended, you can actually quit officially. Find a way to drag them into that what? Into that meeting. Find a way in dragging them into that meeting. Then the other category of people that you must bring in, they are people who we've been talking to, we've been following up. They say they were interested. Call them to see the bigger picture. And then the other category of people, let us invite fresh. Let us invite fresh what? Fresh guests. How many people should you be having in such a meeting? As many as possible. You know, I made cards. I made invitation cards. Now, these invitation cards that I made, I put all the New Life benefits, all the things that you can benefit by involving yourself in New Life. Now, my broadcasts in my WhatsApp, they are 2,878 people. All the 2,878 people have actually received Mikey's invitation. Are they all going to come? Of course not. Is even half of them going to come? Of course not. Not even a quarter. But the point is, I have done my part. I have invited them. If they are going to come, they will come. If they don't come, at least I have done my part. So invite every single person in your phone. You do not know. Interestingly, you can invite everyone in your phone, and just one person comes, just one person like this. And that one person could be the Hansi Cronier in your team. That one person that comes could be the game changer. Let us invite everybody. Let us not prejudge. So Friday, 1 p.m., let's all be at Imperial Hotel. And by the way, something that I also learned when I just gotten started, I was told that you can do all the invitations, but the one guest that you will ever be sure that is coming for this event, the one guest that you can ever be sure that is coming to attend, is the one that you have gone with. The one that you have gone with. That is the guest. You go, you check in with them, you sit with them, and you make sure that you sit with them in a position where they are not going to walk away. That is the one guest that you can ever be sure. So on top of sending out invitations, making the phone calls, follows, and everything, just make sure that as you're going to Imperial Hotel, go with at least 1, 2, 3, 5, what? 5 people. We've been talking about street inviting. This is the perfect time to come to Imperial early and try to see how you can do some street inviting through the cards. Try it out. It could work. Try it out. Let us invite massively. Now, Saturday, on Saturday, we are going to be in Kasese. I know there are some people from Kasese who are on this call. I see, for example, like Wambale Felix. Wambale Felix, I hope you've been able to print the invitation cards today. I hope you've been able to give out as many distribution cards as possible. Let us invite massively. Kasese people, I know you guys always invite massively, but this is the time. This man has come from Cape Town, South Africa. That is over 1,000 kilometers from here. And he has come to Kasese. And this has never happened, by the way. Whenever Mike comes, for all the years I've been around, Mike always comes and he stops in Kampala. But because he's been following up, he's on our platforms. He's been following up and seeing what is happening in Western Uganda, what is happening in Kasese, what's happening in Mbara. He has decided to come and say, you know what? Let me come and support the mission. Our mission is to raise entrepreneurs to reach their full potential. Our goal this year is to develop a minimum of 20 directors. A minimum of 20 directors. Our goal this year is to develop a minimum of 5 work team members. Right now we have 1, 4 more to go. And we want to develop more and more and more. So when Mike looks at our goals, he says, let me go and support this team. I need to make sure that we develop as many directors as what? As possible. We want to have 20 directors on the plane in the month of October as we are going to Dar es Salaam for the East African Convention, as we proceed to have a night in Zanzibar on those white sand beaches of Zanzibar. So Mike is coming to Kasese to support that goal. So we will be starting at exactly 10 a.m. from 10 up to 2. And then after that, for all the people that have done their 3 in 30s, for all the people that have stepped up to manager, the lists are already on the platform. But there is also an opportunity, there is also a chance. If, for example, from now to Friday, if you have 250 points, you can join us for the what? For the dinner. If from now to Friday, you've done your 3 in 30, you can join us for the dinner. If you, by now you've stepped up to manager, you can also join us for the what? For the dinner. Can you imagine sitting down with Mike, dining with Mike, and you're asking questions? So how have you been able to build it? How have you been able to build it? How have you been able to become this successful? How, for the last 40 years, how has it been? How has the 40-year journey been? You do not want to miss the dinner with Mike. So if you are Kasese team, after we have been able to do our experience meeting at Uhuru Hotel, Uhuru Hotel, you just get into the gate to the gardens, then there's a gate that you get out through and you go to the hotel, just a few meters. They have a much bigger hall, is what we shall be using. Today they sent me the picture, the place is quite amazing. So we, after the meeting at Uhuru Hotel, we shall actually be headed for the dinner. To those that qualify, they shall be going to dine with Mike Van Venter. What a nice experience it is going to be. You know, one thing I love about New Life is when you work, you get rewarded. That is one thing that I love so much about New Life. Then after the dinner, we shall of course come back and sleep in Mbara. From Mbarara on Sunday, it's going to be the meeting in, it's going to be, in Uganda, there's such agenda kutokutanga such sanikire. We want to fill Lakeview Hotel. We are using the Margaret Hall, which is the bigger hall. We want to invite massively. By the way, if you are here and you're on this platform and you're in Kampala, but you have friends in Mbara, it's an opportunity to come and invite them. You might even, by the way, you might even not know anyone in Mbara. You might find you've never been to Kasese, you've never been to Mbara. You can go there and do the street inviting. You can join us for that trip. Go do street inviting. Have 10 guests. Have 10 guests in have 10 guests in you know, have 10 guests in Kasese. Come and also have other many guests in Mbara. And that's how business starts growing, by the way. I must, when we had just gotten started, we actually, that's how we built business in even some other places whereby we had never even been. You just go here, there's a meeting in Soroti, you just attack Soroti, You go and invite people, and you end up having some distributors who even end up becoming directors. So Mbarara, we will be having a director meeting first. That is at exactly 11. We shall be having a director meeting first. And then after the director meeting, we shall going to be going into the experience meeting at exactly 1. Arrival time is 1. Please, as distributors, on such events, it is in order that you arrive early, and you organize your guests, you usher in your guests. It is not good for your guests to come in and find you there. So Mbara is on Sunday. The experience meeting ends at exactly 4. Then at exactly 5, that is when we shall be having the step-up dinner for the people in Mbara. We are going to have the step-up dinner at Lakeview. We sit while we are looking, we are overlooking the lake in front of Lakeview. And then we sit and dine and eat with Mike Van Venter. My goodness, I can't just wait to sit on the same table with Mike and have that kind and tap into that wisdom, that 40 years of experience. It's a very amazing opportunity. And then then we shall be traveling back to Kampala on Monday. On Monday, all the distributors in Kampala at exactly 4. At exactly 4, all the distributors in Kampala, we shall actually meet at Sheraton. We are going to be, we shall meet at Sheraton. We want to have that table to talk with Mike Van Venter on Monday at exactly 4 at Sheraton Hotel. We want to have that table talk. We ask him those questions. We ask him, you know, you have some challenges, you ask them. You have anything that disturbs you, you ask. Mike is committed to getting our team to achieve our goals this year. Our goals are developing over 20 directors and developing over 5 world team members. So that is why he's putting off time to meet our team, to meet distributors, to make sure that we maximize and we don't have any excuses apart from growing this business. So it's going to be an amazing weekend. Please let us prepare. Let us prepare ourselves. I remember our monthly goals is doing 250 personal points and above, and also sponsoring 3 people. I want by the time we end Monday, I want to be having my 3 people personally sponsored. And how am I going to do it? I am going to do it from this weekend. So as we come to conclusion, I want to go through the key points that you should note out. Number 1, I have said that the biggest mistake you can do is missing this weekend function with Mike. Please, everything can stop. You can create any excuse at work, but make sure that you do not miss the meeting on Friday with Mike. Number 2, attend with all your distributors, even those that have quit. Try to be creative and see a way on how you can get them to attend such a meeting. You never know, by the way, the law of average works everywhere. I could be having 10 distributors that quit. When I have them into that hall, 4 of them can actually decide to say, you know what? I think I had never understood this business. I want to start this business again. So invite all the distributors, the old, the new, the existing, the ones that have quit, invite all of them to come in for the what? To come for these meetings. Then the other category of people of concern, the people that have deposited, the people that we've been inviting, the people that have filled forms, every single person that promised us they would join, let's have them in that hall. And then let us invite as many new people as what? As possible. Let's invite as many people as possible. Thank you so much. So at this very moment,